Hey guys, in this video we're going to be doing a test sample in our centrifuge with some raspberry seed oil that someone sent in to us. So we're going to get this plumbed into the centrifuge, run it, and see what the results are. Let's get to it. So first things first. So this seed oil, I'm not sure what the purpose of this is going to be. What I do know is that it will not be used for fuel purposes. But there's a lot of sediments and sludge in this seed oil that needs to be separated from the clean fresh oil that they'll use for whatever purposes that they have. Now, in the top of this centrifuge is a brand new bowl. It's never been used before, so this is fresh and clean. And this unit as well is brand new and clean. It's only had water run through it before. So we have a fresh unit for the seed oil so that it doesn't contaminate it for whatever purposes that they have. And we get extremely accurate results, and we know how much sludge we have and how clean this oil will really be after running it through the system. So the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out a way to plumb this into our system, and we don't have a pallet rack that we're going to do this. This is only about 1.5 gallons. So we're actually going to get some small 2-gallon pails, which we have right here. I'm going to use a hole saw. We're going to cut a hole in the center of this bucket. We're going to put a fitting in here with a barb and a ball valve, and then we're going to hang it up top of our rack. It'll feed down in a hose to our centrifuge. It'll go through the center of the centrifuge where the dirty oil will be purified. It'll go to the very bottom. The clean oil will come along on the inside of this bowl and come out this top and go to the side, this housing. And then on this side over here is where our clean oil will drain, which is this barb right here. And we'll put another bucket underneath it to catch our clean oil. So let's get to building this system. See, this is the same size, so this is the right size hole saw. Now, something interesting about these is that these are righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. So we're going to go counterclockwise like that. We're going to pull this O-ring off. Well, actually, we can leave it on there. There's no reason to pull that off. And we are going to put a hole in the center of this bucket. Get it centered. Just like that, we have our hole. Hopefully that's not too off center and cause problem sealing for us. And we're going to stick this through the bottom, and just like that, we can see that was the perfect size. This should not cause a problem sealing because our O-ring is on the inside. We're going to put this on. Remember, it's lefty-tighty. We're going to really tighten this down. It feels tight. But we're going to make sure, so we're going to get some water and see how tight this really is. The second bucket. I'm going to get a little bit of water, and what we're going to do is we'll pour some water into this bucket right here. We'll see if there's any leaks around the edge. We don't need to go over it. We just want some water around the edges, and then we'll see if any leaks come around the seal and make sure that we're good. We'll be right back in a moment. Okay, I found some water, and we are going to test this out, see how tight it is. Don't want to put a whole lot of water in here, just enough to know if the edges will leak. So far, so good. Kind of swirling it around. Just trying to see if it's going to drip around that seal. Don't have anything yet. A little bit more. Okay. A little bit of a leak, but I think that's just from where it splashed in the center. Okay, that's just coming out of the center of that pipe as it should. I'm not holding this straight. And as you can see, pick this camera up. We got some water in there. We have that bung in the center of the bucket. And this is leak free. So we are going to dump this water out, and then we're going to connect a hose barb and a ball valve and get this plumbed into our centrifuge. Now I went ahead and I dried this bucket out with a towel, got all the water off of it, and we know that this is a leak tight fitting. And now if this was going to be oil or something different, I would recommend putting a bead of RTV around it and some RTV glue whenever you actually seal this together. But since we're only doing a gallon of raspberry seed oil, this will take us less than half an hour. I'm not worried about this leaking over a long period of time. This will be fast and sweet. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to connect our hose barb and valve to the bottom of this bucket so we can set the flow rate. And we're going to get some Teflon tape. And we're going to get some Teflon tape and put some around this close nipple. This is 1/2 inch, for those wondering. And again, I'm not super concerned about this being perfect, because this is just a one-time use setup. Cleaning this 1.5 gallons of raspberry seed oil. So that'll be fine right there, that's enough. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get some Teflon tape on this hose barb. And wrap some around this for our ball valve. And for our flow, we're going to have the barb going this way, so our valve shut going up, so we don't have to worry about it hitting the bucket. So this is the way it's going to go. Put that there. And actually, I'm going to tighten this by hand on this valve first, a little bit more. Get a pair of pliers. As the plastic is more delicate than the metal threading, and go ahead and adjust this pliers. That should be good. That's tight enough. Set this on here. Get this going. Turn that clockwise. That's probably fine, just like that. I'm gonna get this hose barb and set that there. And hold this so our seal does not break. Tighten this. That's tight enough. I've got an old fitting on this side, and I don't think that's going to come without a fight, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut that off. Usually I have a box cutter, a lot faster. Put that to the side, and I'm going to connect this on this side. I'm not going to worry about the hose clamps. I'll be fine without hose clamps. Now, go ahead and get some Teflon tape on our fitting, which is what goes to the centrifuge. Put some Teflon tape around our oil entry tube. Doesn't need to be super tight, that's fine. Alright. Got some Teflon tape on our hose barb. I'm going to open this up, tighten this. That is tight. Put it in the bottom of this hose. That is pushed all the way on. And this is ready to feed to the centrifuge. Now we're going to get our exit fittings that go on the bottom of the centrifuge for our clean oil and our dirty oil and get those installed right now. So I'm going to move the camera and to be continued in a moment. Okay, so at our centrifuge setup, we have our bucket to the side and we're going to put some fittings for our drainage under the centrifuge. And we're going to make this easy, we're going to make this simple, and I'm just going to put some buckets on either side. So I don't need to put a P-trap in here, I don't need to do any fancy angles or T-fittings. I'm not worried about moisture removing at this point, I'm just trying to clean this oil. And I don't want to worry about any bends or kinks in that line. That's going to hold oil. I want this to flow freely out of the centrifuge into the bucket below it. So we're going to get some Teflon tape on these fittings. We're going to install them, and we'll slide those buckets underneath. So I'm going to grab some Teflon tape. We're going to get back to taping those fittings up. And then we're going to slide these buckets underneath. I'm going to pull these apart real quick. First, I'm going to put some Teflon tape on this. And at this point, we're going to speed up the camera roll, and we're going to quickly show you how to assemble everything. Now, an important note. On our dirty oil side, on this side of the centrifuge, our port is close to the motor. So if we just put this up here and we try to twist it around, it's going to hit this motor. So what we need to do first is just install the barb. We'll put it up in there. We'll twist it around until it's tight. Then we'll install the hose barb. So just remember that when you're assembling your centrifuge. Now we're going to get this assembled right quick. Okay, I'm going to get these buckets, I'm going to clean them out. Make sure there's no dirt, dust, plastic shavings. These buckets to worry about. I'm also going to get a little bit of some rubbing alcohol to disinfect them out. All right, we're just about done. I'm going to take this bucket, I'm going to hang it up here with a zip tie. We're going to pour some oil in it, we're going to get the centrifuge running, and we'll be ready to roll. All right, we're going to climb on up there and get some oil poured into this bucket. That valve will be shut. And the first thing we'll do is turn on the centrifuge, and after the centrifuge is turned on, then we will turn on our oil. We're going to get started right now. We got all that raspberry oil out of here. We can see there's chunks on the side. So we obviously have a lot of debris in here. And once we turn the centrifuge on, we'll see how much there actually is. Now I'm going to turn on the centrifuge, get some power to it, and then we will open the ball valve. So this centrifuge is 3-phase, as you can see by the motor. So I'm gonna come over here, turn my controller on. Don't yet have power to the shop, so just make use of what we have. We can hear it spinning on. And actually we're gonna make sure that our clamps are on. Those should be on first before we turn it on. I'm gonna tighten those up real quick. So we got our clasps tightened now. Always make sure you have those tight first, or you will be spraying oil everywhere if those are not tightened. So we got that on. Got a little bit of a fanning motion, and what happens is as the centrifuge is running, it's pushing air out of these barbs on the sides. So we're gonna make sure that's under there, like that. This is good on this side. Now, how do we set our flow rate? So, I know that this bowl is a ½ gallon in capacity, and it takes 6 minutes for this bowl to completely fill before we get oil that starts coming out. So 6 minutes for ½ gallon of oil is about 5 gallons an hour. So after 6 minutes pass, if I don't have oil yet coming out of this hose, actually it'll be on this side, this is our clean oil. So after 6 minutes, I should have a little bit of oil coming out on this side. If I don't, I'll open this valve up a little bit more, and if it does come out too quick, I will just close that so it slows down the flow rate. So we're gonna get this open right now. I'm gonna position the camera, and we'll time this for about 6 minutes so that we start getting oil out on our clean oil side. I now have a little bit of a dribble. Slow it down a little bit. So we got a trickle. What I did right there is I took the hose out of the centrifuge and I opened that valve until I got a little bit of some oil. And a 5 gallon hour flow rate will look like a pencil stream worth of oil. So once I saw an adequate amount of oil, roughly to what I know is 5 gallons an hour, that's where I left it, and that's how I put it into the centrifuge. And now we're counting 6 minutes, and we'll see where that gets us. So whenever I first got the oil, and I went to put it in the centrifuge, I closed that valve too much. And that oil that I thought was running out was just what was left in the tube. So the entire time there's no oil going in the centrifuge. So I watched it now, double checked, and now there's another actually oil entering the centrifuge. So we're gonna watch it and we'll see how fast the oil comes through. And another few minutes and we'll see what our flow rate is and how clean the oil really is. Let's get to it. After 2 minutes, we got oil, raspberry seed oil coming out of the centrifuge, which is a little bit quick. So I slowed down that valve a little bit more to the point of where it's slowest I can get that oil. And it's just very thin oil. So it's just coming through this valve very quick. So I slowed it down to the point as slow as it'll go. We'll see how clean it is. The oil that was in that bucket has run all the way through the centrifuge. We still have a little bit more up in here from that distance between the bottom of that, or the top of that bung that's in the bucket and the oil that wasn't able to go through that hole and down the hose. So I'm going to take that bucket, we're going to get a little funnel, and we're going to funnel the rest of it into the centrifuge. We're almost done. Remaining oil has been poured into the centrifuge. We're going to let it run for about another 2 or 3 minutes so that all that fresh oil we just put in there is fully cleaned and subjected to that centrifugal force, so it pulls that dirt and sludge and whatever's in that oil and pins it to the inside walls of that bowl. And then after we let it run for a few minutes, we're going to shut power off to the centrifuge. And then after that centrifuge fully shuts down and that bowl stops spinning, we're going to have a ½ gallon of that remaining oil drain into our dirty oil container. We're going to let it sit another 10 to 15 minutes so everything drains off, and then we'll open up that bowl to the unit and see what we caught. We're almost done. The oil has completely drained out of the centrifuge. We've let it sit for about 10 minutes. We are now going to open up the centrifuge and see what our results are. First, we'll open these 3 clasps on the sides. Set that to the side. Now, the first thing you can see, if you can't tell already, is the way this operates is that as the oil is escaping, it makes like a fan pattern like this, almost like a radiation or sonic symbol. So the oil is coming out and it's escaping like this. This is our fan, and then this is all clean on the sides. But we got not much oil around the edges, not too much. We're gonna go ahead and open up this bowl. We're gonna use a 4mm Allen head. Just like that, we're gonna open up these edges. This doesn't need to be super tight, these screws, just a little past snug. So you can see this is extremely fast to open up. Just 1 screw, 2 screws, 3, 4, 5, 6. All there is to open it up. We're gonna grab a spot. We're gonna turn this locking lid. Lift straight up. That's our acceleration cone that directs the oil to the bottom of the bowl. Look at that. We have a lot of dirt inside this bowl. I'm gonna move the camera closer for a better view. Look at all that dirt on the edges. All the way around. We have all this raspberry seed debris. And I'm going to scrape that into a container. I mean, to see how much this really is. That is a lot of gel. I'm going to get a spatula. We're going to scrape this out right now and see how much we really have. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape this. I could not find my spatula, so I just have a piece of paper, some cardstock. I'm going to go around and put this up against the bowl. And we're just going to go like this all the way around and see how much we really have. So that's the first amount of goop. We're going to scrape that off. Now it's drier towards the bottom. And as you can see, this goes all the way around. just like that. This cardstock is getting a little bit soft. As you can see, this is all sludge pulled out of the seed oil. This was only a gallon, mind you, so you can probably speed up the flow rate to between, I'd say 10, 15 gallons an hour. It depends what you're trying to do. And I would say you can probably run, with this only being a gallon, you could probably run 40 or 50 gallon batches before needing to stop and clean it out. And you'll probably have a good amount of debris in this bowl. So I'm not sure what your production needs are, but I would recommend 1 or 2 of these centrifuges, depending on how much oil you're trying to clean. But I mean, as you can see, this is a lot of sludge. So this is all going to be pulled out. I'm going to put this into a sample container for you, and we'll get this sent back off to you. So there you have, that's your results. So all in all, this centrifuge did wonderful cleaning this raspberry seed oil. We got our 3 samples of oil. We got our clean oil, the dirty oil that drained out of that centrifuge bowl, and then the remaining debris that we have in that bowl. So we're going to get everything put in separate containers and have this sent back off to the customer. So if you're thinking about cleaning some oil or some sort of fluid or project that you have going on, and you want to know if a centrifuge will properly clean your oil, send us some oil. We'll get it sampled. We'll run it through the centrifuge, and we'll get your results back. So thank you for checking out this video. I hope you found it informative and helpful of how the centrifuge operates and the results of cleaning this oil. Stay tuned for next video. See y'all.